Former U.S. Ambassador to NATO Volker, Special Advisor to the Ukrainian military Dan Rice. They both join us now. Gentlemen, thank you. Dan, why the evacs? What's the concern?
Thanks, Chris, and Ambassador, great to see you. Chris, the entire front line is at risk right now from both sides. There's going to be attacks from the Ukrainian side and attacks from the Russian side. The responsible thing for the Ukrainian side to do under President Zelensky is to request certain areas be evacuated. That's what's happening. Happened last fall in Kherson, and the Ukrainian military had an amazing successful operation in Kherson. That's what's happening. They're asking people to evacuate. They're asking to protect their own Ukrainian people by evacuating from areas that are contested.
Now, I'm being told, Dan, as a quick follow, that there are too many. They're not going to get out. There's a question about compliance and that there's going to be a lot of bloodshed as a result. Do you believe that, or is that just a concern or fear at this point?
Well, there's a lot of fog of war right now. There's a lot of confusion. And yes, there will be casualties. Innocent civilians will be killed because of the Russian aggression, unfortunately. A lot of Ukrainians have decided to stay in their homes regardless. They did it last year. They said, we will stay here no matter what the Russians do. And a lot of them lost their lives, unfortunately. Same thing this year. The best the Ukrainian administration can do is to warn people to evacuate certain areas. Hopefully they will, just like in an earthquake or the flooding in the U.S. If you ask people to evacuate, if they don't, they're risking their own lives. That's their choice. That's their prerogative. That's the free nation of Ukraine, and they get to choose.
Ambassador, if they don't get out and people start dying, civilians, non-combatants, is that just war, or does it change the political landscape for the United States?
No, I don't think it changes the landscape, because we've seen so many people killed in this war already. And as Dan said, it's because of Russian aggression. We understand what the cause is, and we understand what the solution is, which is that Russia has to withdraw its forces from Ukraine, and we need to help the Ukrainians get the equipment and the training that they need to be able to push the Russians out. What I think is important for your viewers to understand is, how does all this fit in the context of the war where it is today? The Russians are not able to advance and seize and hold territory anymore. That is something they were able to do at the beginning of the war. They can't do it now. They're on defense. As a result of that, the Russians are resorting more and more to indiscriminate bombing of civilians and cities in Ukraine to create terror in the population. The Ukrainians are trying to protect their civilians. They want to get people out of these areas where they're vulnerable, have better air defenses, protect them as much as possible, while trying their own counteroffensive to push the Russians out. That counteroffensive has been more difficult and taken longer than a lot of people hoped. And the Ukrainians have adapted their tactics as well now, too, taking the fight to some places in Moscow, drone strikes in Moscow or other places in Russia, and also against Russian ships in the Black Sea. So we're seeing some changes in the way this war is being fought, but nothing that is fundamental about the overall direction.
The guys I know who are working on the ground to help the people in civilian circumstances, Dan, just quickly say to me, you know, when I say, you think it's any closer to them coming to the table to negotiate, they say no. And unless there's a lot of U.S. fighter jets up in the air or other countries' fighter jets that change the game on the ground, we got a long way to go. Fair assessment?
No, I disagree completely. I think there's so many areas of this war. People get all confused about the combined armed operations, about infantry, artillery, electronic warfare, drones, all kinds of things. It's a very complex war. It boils down to artillery. It's an artillery duel. It's been an artillery duel since the beginning. 80% of the casualties on both sides are from artillery. A year ago today, I presented to the general staff of Ukraine to request cluster munitions. A year ago, the next day, General Zelensky requested them. So now we finally we got them. But what we need is the rockets. The HIMARS rockets have cluster munitions that go farther and deeper. We need those. And by the way, this is an amazing fact: is they cost nothing. They're about to be destroyed by the United States government. They're free rockets. We should give them all to Ukraine. That's the game changer. DPICM rockets for HIMARS.
Dan Rice, Kurt Volker, thank you both very much. Have a good weekend. Appreciate it. Hey, thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com, newsnationnow.com, and you can find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button down below. Then you will get more of NewsNation's fact-driven coverage.